To accomplish great things, we must not only act but also dream. Not only plan but also believe. Splendid day, everyone.
Hello, everyone. This is Mom Jayan. It's a new day, new discussion for all of us, and welcome to Life and Works of Dr. Jose Rizal. In your midterm, part of our discussion or the topic in chapter 5 is your Rizal's life under the happenings of his exile, trial, and death. So we are all here for us to meet with this, discussions. But it's been our practice that before I proceed, I always introduce to you what are the objectives now of our discussion. First off, I would like to reiterate in our class that at the end of the chapter or at the end of this discussion, you, as my students now, should be able to what? Okay. First, of course, express oneself effectively during the role playing or dramatization that I will be requiring you later on. Next is to analyze the factors led to Rizal's execution and the effects of execution on Spanish colonial rule and Filipino Revolution. Next also is compare the proceedings of the court trial during the time of Rizal and the present time. Also, inculcate and imbibe in one's mind the values and capabilities of Rizal and put them to practice. And last but not least, we have here explained the reason why every Filipino should be proud of Dr. Jose Rizal. Okay, when we say exile, okay, um, what does it really mean when we say exile? No, even in the Bible, everyone, it was considered now an exile. Is it a haven or a kind of rat? Because even in the history, if you're going to see the Bible prescribed now the exile of Israelite kingdom to the birth of Jesus Christ. Why? Since exile is an early motive in the ancient Greek tragedy, they conserve the integrity of their belief. In the ancient Greek world, this was seen as a fate worse than death. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, noon pa man, mas nakakatakot itong kasalanan na ito, yung exile, kesa sa kamatayan. Why? Before a death sentence was pronounced kasi, a Roman citizens during that time could escape by voluntarily exile. Later, the parameters, of course, of the exile were introduced, including yung temporary and permanent exile. Ibig sabihin lang nito na exile with or without loss of citizenship and yung exile with or without confiscation of property. So, in tracing the beginning of our civilizations, exile means to be away from one's country, being explicitly refused permission to return or being threatened with imprisonment or death upon return. So, kailangan out of sight ka muna sa mga tao. Pag bumalik ka, may possibility na okay, papatayin ka, o wala ka munang malayo ka muna sa lugar. Okay? Exile is a form of prolonged absence from one's country imposed by vested authority as a punitive measure or yung tinatawag natin na punishment. It can be a form of punishment and solitude. When we say solitude, nakakapag-isa. Mapag-isa ka muna. Doon ka sa far away. Okay? It is common to distinguish between internal exile versus your external exile. Bakit? Pag sinabi natin internal exile, in which the person, if forced resettlement within the country of residence, ibig sabihin, doon ka muna sa faraway land, pero andito ka pa rin sa Pilipinas, inside the Philippines. While on the other hand, when we say external exile, from the word external, not outside, wherein the person is forcibly deported outside the country of his residence. So yun po ang sinasabi natin na exile na naranasan mismo ni Dr. Jose Rizal. The exile give us a huge impact, everyone, to the society where we belong and cornerstone to evaluate the positive and negative product of what this such kind of punishment or reward. Several personalities po natin experience such kind of release from internal and external punishment that happened during the 19th century. Okay, even Dr. Jose Rizal, our national hero, is a concrete example of the exiled person. Why? Because he opted to live away from his family just to present Filipino values. Okay? Rizal lived in exile in far away Dapitan. Ibig sabihin, ito yung remote town in Mindanao. Where is Dapitan located right now? It was located saan po? Sa Zamboanga del Norte. Okay? I repeat, Dapitan, during the time is uh, something now that is located here at Zamboanga del Norte, the present time. Okay, which was under the missionary jurisdiction during the time of the Jesuits. Ano na pag sinabi ulit natin na Jesuits, yung mga Society of Jesus, mga Spanish missionaries po from year 1892 to 1896. So, yung 4 year na interregnum po sa buhay ni Dr. Jose Rizal dito was described as tediously and exciting, but also abundantly fruitful with varied achievements. Okay, he practiced medicine, pursued scientific studies, continued his artistic and literary works, widened his knowledge of language, established a school of boys, promoted community development projects, invented a wooden machine for making bricks also. Yes, nakapag-invento po siya and engaged in farming and commerce. So, you know what, class? Despite his multifarious activities, no, he kept an extensive correspondence with his family, relatives, fellow reformists, isali nyo na rin yun, and the friends or the eminent scientists that he met, even the scholars during his stay at Europe, including Blumentritt, Reinhold Rost, A.B. Mayer, W. Jones of Berlin, S. Knuckle, and of course many more. So moreover of that, he proved to his motherland that this country is worth living for.
Next is your La Liga Filipina or the Philippine League in English. Ma'am, why is it oftentimes lagi namin naririnig yung La Liga Filipina? Ano ang connection ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa La Liga Filipina? Well, everyone, for your information, when we say La Liga Filipina kasi, or the Philippine League, during the time of 1892, Jose Rizal ay bumalik po sa Pilipinas and he proposed a kind of proposed establishment. Secret society ito. Ano yan, ma'am? Klase ng samahan? Yes. Samahan. Like, what you call it? Something like civic organization that they call them La Liga Filipina since we are in the Spanish era during that time, di ba? Um, Rizal functioned as its advisor and he wrote the bylaws of the organizations. So, ano yung mga isinali niya? First off is that to unite the country or the whole country. Dapat magkaroon tayo ng unity, we win as one, something like that. Protect and assist all members, fight violence and injustice, support education, study and implement reforms. So, sa pagpaplano pa lang, during that time, saan sila nagpaplano? Sa bahay po ni Doroteo Anjanco sa Tondo, Manila. Yes, totoo yung issue na, or sa mga napapanood ninyo na akin ang lupang ito. Hindi, kay Asyong. It's because even before, even the Liga Filipina, the time of Dr. Jose Rizal, it happened that many negotiations or initiations happened during that time. Okay? He was an active member of that, but only a secret society. It's not lantad. You know what I mean? So 4 days after ng Civic Organization's foundation, Jose Rizal was arrested by the Spanish authorities on 4 grounds. Ala, sobrang palpak naman, ma'am. Kaka-built pa lang ng organization and it happened na um, na-arresto na po siya. Yes. Why? They believe there are 4 reasons. First is that for publishing anti-Catholic and anti-friar books and articles. Do you still remember the Touch Me Not or Noli Me Tangere and then your El Filibusterismo or the Reign of the Greed? Yung mga libro kasi na yun ni Dr. Jose Rizal ay nagpapakita po ng pambabatikos niya sa mga Espanyol. So parang nagkaroon na sila ng masakit sa tenga nila na kinakalaban sila ng isang Indio or isang Pinoy during that time. So, also, second one is for having in position a bundle of handbills or what we call now the pobres frailes, okay, in which advocacies were in violation of the Spanish orders, okay. So, parang sa kanila threat si Dr. Jose Rizal kasi nakapag-aral siya sa ibang bansa. Pumunta siya ng Europa. So, may nakakaalam na hindi na lang sila ang marunong mag-Espanyol, hindi na lahat ng mga Pilipino ay mangmang o bobo, hindi na tayo sasabihan palagi ng mga Indio o mga Toronto, mga bobo o walang alam. Also, is the third one is for dedicating his novels, El Filibusterismo, para sa tatlong paring martyr. Or you can still recall the Gumburza that I have discussed to you previously, and for emphasizing the novel's title page that the only salvation for the Philippines was the separation from the mother country to the Spain. Bakit po ba kasi sinakop tayo ng Espanya, ma'am? It's because gusto ng Espanya na maging probinsya po nila tayo. Nabanggit ko na noon yan sa inyo. Okay? And of course, fourth one is for simply criticizing the religion and aiming for its exclusion from the Filipino culture. Okay? Ngayon, pag-usapan naman natin, since nabanggit ko na sa inyo na pinadeport siya sa Dapitan or somewhere in Zamboanga del Norte, ma'am, paano yung naging buhay ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa Dapitan? Okay, for your information everyone, sakay po sila ng steamer dati na aboard the steamer Cebu ay under a heavy guard. So maraming naging gwardiya si Dr. Jose Rizal. Rizal left Manila sailing to Mindoro and Panay until he reached Dapitan at 7 o'clock in the evening of June 17. Okay? From that day until July 31 of the year 1896, Dapitan became the bear witness to one of the most fruitful periods in Rizal's life. Kaya paano mo naman nasabi, ma'am? His stay in the province kasi was more than he lived or living in exile. It was a period when Rizal had been more focused po sa pag-serve sa mga tao, sa bayan, ma'am, sa paanong paraan through his civic works, medical practices and development and promotion of education po. So, si Dr. Jose Rizal nung nasa Dapitan siya, dalawa ang pinanalunan niya. Yes po, literal po siyang nanalo sa loto. Yes, marunong po sumugal si Dr. Jose Rizal. Mahilig po siya tumaya ng loto noon and ang winning numbers niya ay 9, 7, 3, 6. I repeat, ang winning numbers po niya, baka lumabas sa exam ninyo, are 9, 7, 3, 6. Ilan po ang pinanalunan ni Dr. Jose Rizal? So habang nakakulong siya sa Dapitan, tumaya pa siya ng loto. Ganon ang mga Pilipino kahit siguro nakabilanggo, kahit kung nasaan nagtataya pa rin po ng mga, alam niyo na, ang uso na kasi sa atin ngayon ay, ano tawag dito sa online sugal? What do you call this class? Na, scatter. Yes, you said it right. So, nanalo po siya noon ng 20,000. So, malaki na po yung 20,000 na pinalalunan niya noon. Enough na yon, nakapagpatayo siya ng octagonal house made of bamboo and nipa in Talisay. Nagpatayo rin po si Dr. Jose Rizal ng school and accepted the students with no tuition fee po ito. And nagtayo din po siya ng small clinic niya for eye. Kasi Dr. Jose Rizal, kaya may doktor sa pangalan niya ay doktor po siya sa mata. He also built a house for ladies sa pamilya niya na kapag bumisita sila sa Dapitan, meron silang tutulugan. So, nabanggit ko kanina, no, nakapag-invento rin po si Rizal ng sulpukan, lighter, and machinery in making bricks. And saan makikita? Nung nasa Dapitan din si Rizal, syempre makaka-receive siya later on ng malungkot na balita. Yun yung namatay na po si Leonor Rivera sa panganganak. As a continuation of how is the life of Rizal in Talisay. So, class, Rizal had maximized his stay in Dapitan by devoting how much of his time in improving his artistic and literary skills, doing agricultural and civic projects, engaging also in business activities and writing letters to his friends in Europe, just like particularly no si Ferdinand Blumentritt and Reinhold Rost. His careers and achievements in different field. For example, ano po ba yung mga makakonsider natin? Dr. Jose Rizal as physician, yes po, as an engineer, as an educator, as an agriculturist, as a businessman, as an inventor, as an artist, as a linguist, as a scientist. Bakit mo naman nasabi siyang scientist? Okay? Rizal kasi before shared his interest with nature to his students. With his boys, they explored the jungles and searched for specimens, which he sent to museums in Europe during the time, particularly in Dresde Museum. Okay? In return, yung mga scientific books and surgical instruments during that time were delivered to him from European scientists. He also made a bulk of the researches po, no, and studies in the fields of ethnography, archaeology, geology, anthropology, and even geography, yes. However, class, Rizal's most significant contribution in the scientific world was his discovery of 3 species. Meron po siyang na-discover na 3 species of what you call now flying dragon, small beetle, and rare frog. Okay, the flying dragon, or we call it Draco rizali. Okay, so pinattern pa rin po sa pangalan niya. Also is the small beetle, ito naman po ay Apogonia rizali. Okay, and the third one, yung ating Rhacoporus rizali, or yung ating rare frog po. And of course, also we can consider now yung Rizal also partook with civic works, no, in Dapitan. So nung nakarating po siya sa province na yon, napansin niya yung kahirapan ng mga tao since remote area nga po yun. He drained the marshes of the Dapitan to get coconut oil. What do you call this? To get rid of malaria carrying mosquitoes. Okay, he also provided lighting system yung coconut oil lamps po posted in dark streets in the province out of what he earned being a physician. He beautified Dapitan by remodeling the town plaza with the aid of the Jesuit teacher na si Father Francisco Sanchez, and nag-create din po siya ng relief map po ng mga taga Mindanao right in front po ng church na yon. Nakikita ninyo sa picture, it was mentioned there ang pangalan na Josephine Bracken. Yes po yung nasa picture po ng ating slide, okay? Ito ang medyo romantic side naman ng pagtira niya sa Dapitan. So Rizal kasi had always been missing his family in their happy moments. Of course, alam niyo po ba ang homesick, it does not hold any ages or like wala pong pinipiling edad ang pagiging homesick ng tao. Okay? Even kung gaano ka man katanda. Okay? And Kalamba, and in his despair, doubled when nung time na nalaman niya na patay na po si Leonor Rivera. Okay? Dahil nga po sa panganganak. And he was married to another man. So not soon, to his surprise, dito darating or papasok sa buhay niya ang isang Irish girl who enlightened his rather gloomy heart. Okay? This girl was the 18-year-old Josephine Bracken, who was a slender, a chestnut blonde, with blue eyes, dressed with elegant simplicity, with an atmosphere of light. Okay, like Katie. Okay? From Hong Kong kasi, she arrived in Dapitan. During that time, meron po siyang foster father. Bulag po yung foster father niya. Ang pangalan ay si George Topher. And, napangasawa niya na po noon ay si Manuela Orlac, okay? Filipina po. So, dahil sa kasikatan ni Rizal noon as an ophthalmologic surgeon or doktor sa mata, nakarating na pati sa abroad yung fame niya. And dun lang nalaman class na ni-refer po siya kay Dr. Jose Rizal. Okay? Rizal and Josephine Bracken during that time instantly, okay, fell in love with each other, and just 1 month, they agreed to marry, which appealed to the disturbed Topher. Pero, merong pero dito, the parish priest during the time of Dapitan, Father Pedro Obac, refused to do so unless they are permitted by the Bishop of Cebu. And nung time nga na yun, ang kalaban po ni Dr. Jose Rizal ay ang kaaway niya yung mga pari. Ito paanong mangyayari yon. So on the other hand, tuloy natin yung kwento, Topher returned to Hong Kong uncured. Because no priest was willing to marry the two, the couple exchanged their vows before God in their own way, which was scandalized Father Obac. So, in 1896 class, nagbunga yung pagmamahalan nila ni Josephine Bracken. Yes, nabuntis po siya. Unfortunately, Josephine Bracken gave birth to a 1-month premature baby. Okay? Baby boy who lived only for 3 hours. So, that child was buried in the Dapitan bearing the name Francisco, and yun po sana ang isusunod sa pangalan ng tatay na Rizal na si Don Kiko. Okay? Yun po ang anak po ni Dr. Jose Rizal po. Another happening of life of Rizal in Talisay, itong time na to, parang yung family ni Rizal, nakakaisip sila na parang may something off kay Josephine Bracken. Parang suspicious sila parang bakit bigla-bigla itong dumating sa buhay niya, hindi kaya spy siya, ganun po. So, merong pangalan ng tao na ito na si Florencio Namaan, or nagpapanggap po na Pablo Mercado, na kunyari relatives ng family ni Rizal. Spy po yun ng mga friars, okay? Si Pio Valenzuela po, an emissary of Andres Bonifacio, he was asking for advice on how to launch a revolution. So, inoffering niya to have the Katipunan assist him in escaping Dapitan. Ibig sabihin lang nito na meron silang plano na itakas si Dr. Jose Rizal, no? Sa Dapitan. Again, the exiled hero disagreed because he had no plan of breaking his word of honor to the Spanish authorities. So, ibig sabihin lang nito, he objected of the proposal of escaping throughout the Dapitan dahil nga po hindi pa po sila handa. May dalawang rason kasi kung bakit premature po yung mga idea na yun. Una, hindi pa po ready kasi ang mga Filipino sa bloody revolution na gustong mangyari ni Andres Bonifacio and company. And also, the Katipunan lacked machinery before plotting a revolution. There must be sufficient arms and funds collected po. Ngayon, kung tatanungin ninyo ako, ma'am, paano nag-end po yung exile po ni Dr. Jose Rizal, no, sa Dapitan? So, during that time kasi class, when Cuba was under revolution and raging yellow fever epidemic, Rizal wrote to Governor General Ramon Blanco offering his service as a military doctor. So, na-receive naman po ni General Blanco and he approved the request of Rizal, okay, during that time. And at the midnight of that day, he left aboard with the steamer Espanya. Sumakay na po siya, no? Okay, sa Espanya na steamer. And then, yun na yung time na, okay, pupunta na po, magpapamanila na po siya, no? So, sino ang nagsabi sa kanya, ma'am, na meron pong yellow fever sa Cuba? Yun po ay walang iba kundi ang kaibigan niyang si Ferdinand Blumentritt po. Lagi natin nababanggit to, si Ferdinand Blumentritt. So, hopefully hindi niyo po makalimutan, okay? Ngayon, pag-usapan naman po natin um, yung katipunan, no? Um, yung sikreto ng katipunan, ito na yung the Katipunan plot to overthrow the Spanish rule by means of revolution. It was discovered by Father Mariano Hill after po i-disclose po ni Teodoro Patino yung sekreto po ng organization. So, sa isang organization, hindi po nawawala, no, yung mga traitors. So, you never know which one is an ally or an enemy. Okay? It's at the time Katipunan was already discovered and the Philippine Revolution was already raging. Mainit na po sa Pilipinas during that time napag-alaman na po yung tungkol sa kanila. Another important date to consider here that is significant in the Philippine history is that August 26th of the year 1896. What happened in here, ma'am? So it was Bonifacio and Katipunan raised the cry of Pugadlawin or Sigaw ng Pugadlawin or cry of revolution in the hills of Balintawak, a few miles north of Manila. So in the afternoon kasi, Governor General Blanco proclaimed the state of war in the first 8 provinces rising arms against Spain. Ito yung mga dineclare nila ng mga lugar. Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, and Nueva Ecija, and also Tarlac. Everyone, yung flag po natin, for your information, as I am your social science teacher, your history teacher, it's important to take note what are the basics in terms of our Philippine flag. So, I have included here in the video lecture, no, for your reference. Huwag kakalimutan. Ang flag po natin, nasa taas po yung blue ngayon, di ba? Dahil it means peace, okay? And then red naman po, war. Nasa baba yung war. And then during that time, nung nasa state po tayo ng war, nakataas po yung red. Nasa baba po yung blue. So, sino ang mga 8 lugar na nakipaglaban? Alam niyo po yung sun, doon po sa ating flag, it represents the 8 rays of the sun in the Philippine flag are these 8 regions, okay, who have fought against the Spaniards. Okay? I repeat, this is Manila, Bulacan, Cavite, Batangas, Laguna, Pampanga, Nueva Ecija, and Tarlac. Ma'am, kung 8 rays of the sun, how about the tatlong star? Okay, the 3 stars represents now your Luzon, island of Panay, okay, Visayas, specifically in island of Panay rather, and then the third one is your Mindanao. Okay, hindi nyo naman siguro yun makakalimutan. So this flag is a distinctive emblem of a Katipunan, which means that the blood compact inspired by the Filipinos, okay, Filipino people to rise for a revolution. This is officially when the time now during the June 12 of 1898, ang ating pong Independence Day, dineclare na po yung ating Philippine independence, okay? And that is the time now also that you can now declare or sa haba-haba po no, ng panahon ng pananakop, nakamit po yung ating kalayaan. Ito po yung mga pinagdaanan ng mga lugar na po na mga iyon. Take note of that. Okay, another thing that happened during the arrest and trial of Dr. Jose Rizal on September 30, okay, the Isla de Panay had already sailed past Port Said in Egypt and was now sailing in the Mediterranean. So, may dumating po na telegraphic message, okay, may telegram po, no? Sulat po para kay Dr. Jose Rizal na siya nga po ay under arrest. Okay, so isingit ko na rin dito, no, included in your examination also is that on July 6 of the year 1892, 3 days after lang po ng La Liga Filipina establishment, Jose Rizal was um, secretly arrested. So, the next day noon, si Governor General Despujol, siya po ang meron pong pakana ng deportation ni Rizal sa Dapitan. Huwag niyo po kakalimutan ang ating, okay, Governor General Despujol ang pasimuno po ng pag-deport or pag-exile kay Dr. Jose Rizal sa, okay, sa Dapitan. So, how are we gonna consider now the things that happened during the trial of Rizal? So the Spanish colonial government, everyone, during that time accused Rizal of three crimes. Ano yun, ma'am? Ano yung tatlo? First is the founding of La Liga Filipina, an illegal organization whose single aim was to perpetuate the crime of rebellion. Rebellion also, which he promoted through his previous activities. And pangatlo is yung illegal associations po natin, or even we call it your sedition. So the penalty for those who are accused in life imprisonment to death and correctional imprisonment of charge of 325 to 3,250 pesetas. Okay? Okay, so dahil nga po on flight na ang trial ni Dr. Jose Rizal, meron po siyang attending lawyer during the time. Okay? And Lieutenant Luis Tavel de Andrade po, ang counsel po ni Rizal. And ang um, December 13 po, yung case na po ni Rizal ay forwarded na po to Governor General Camilo de Polavieja. Kapalit niya po ni Governor Blanco. So, yung trial po ay nagsimula na noong December 26 na po ng 1896. And saan po siya naganap? Sa Hall of Banners po of in the part of Fort Santiago. So Rizal was charged with three crimes, yung binanggit ko kanina: rebellion, sedition, and formation of illegal associations. So, in defending himself, nag-present po siya ng 12 na arguments. So, the court, since wala naman tayong representative sa court, noon syempre, Rizal was found guilty for the charges and voted for death penalty. So, dumating na ang December 28 ng 1896, si Rizal po ay nagkaroon na po ng death warrant, pirmado na po yun ni Governor General Polavieja. Huwag niyo pong kakalimutan, pag sino ang pumirma? Who signed? Pumirma. Polavieja po. Ordering him to be shot at 7 o'clock in the morning sa Bagong Bayan. Rizal signed it without saying anything na ang sabi niya po ay he was innocent. Okay po? And for the last part, okay, here we are in Rizal's final days, okay? So, Rizal spent 24 hours in his death cell. For your information, naka-receive na siya ng mga members of the family niya, ng mga letter. The first one, para sa kanyang second brother, no? Si Ferdinand Blumentritt. Kasi isa lang naman ang totoo niyang kapatid, si Pasiano. Nagbigay din po siya ng letters para kay Trinidad na kasabay ng binigay niyang parang petroleum lamp or lampara, and binulong niya, no, sa kapatid niya in English na meron tong nakatago sa loob ng lampara. Thus is Rizal's famous farewell poem, Mi Ultimo Adios, My Last Farewell, was found. Rizal was said to have married his Irish girlfriend according to Catholic rites in the very last hours of his life. Okay, after living with her sometime in Dapitan. Yun po yung parang they were previously married civilly. On the morning of December 30, kaya naman po sinasabing common law wife si Josephine Bracken, of 1896, Rizal set on his walk from Fort Santiago to Bagumbayan Square, the same place where the three priests had been killed. Same po na venue ng pagpatay sa Gomburza, na tinatawag po natin sa current time na Luneta Park. Okay? Yun na yung time na pupunta sila doon at i-face na po niya yung ultimate death niya po. Okay? He was seen as a man of peace and bravery. So, ang tawag nito, this is the time now na chine-check na po, no, yung mga vital signs ni Dr. Jose Rizal sa kanyang execution. And then, maraming attempt naman po na binigyan siya ng chance na hindi na siya i-execute as long as bawiin niya yung mga sinabi niya against sa mga Espanyol. Pero, yun yung tinatawag natin na retraction, pagbawi sa mga sinabi niyang hindi maganda or sinulat niya, in-include niya sa novels niya. But, Dr. Jose Rizal is still remain, okay, of the things that he thought was right. Okay? So, yun na yung time na wala silang magawa, wala silang here we are in the most prominent happening also in the history. Ang isa sa mga tumatak sa mga Pilipino in commemoration to Dr. Jose Rizal, December 30, 7 a.m. Okay, with the captain shouting, Fuego, Fuego, or fire. Shouts rang out from the guns of 8 Indian soldiers. Paano po pinatay si Dr. Jose Rizal? Siya po ay nakatutok ang baril, okay, sa 8 Filipino soldier. Na kapag hindi siya binaril, meron din mga Espanyol sa likod nila ng mga militar. Kapag ang hindi buwabaril kay Dr. Jose Rizal ay siya ang mamamatay at mahahandusay po. Okay? Preparen, anunte. Rizal shouted, Consummatum est. It is done or it is finished. Okay? Ano pang last word ni Rizal? Ulitin po natin. Hindi po aray ko ang kanyang sinabi, ha? Wala pong ganon. Hindi po. Ang sinabi niya po ay consummatum est. Bago pa man po barilin si Dr. Jose Rizal, no, nakiusap po siya na kung po pwede ay harapin niya po yung mga babaril sa kanya. Kasi naman, kapag nakatalikod ka na babarilin, para kang traidor, para kang tumalikod sa bayan, para lang po, hindi naman po siya mamamatay na parang naging kalaban ng bayan. Pero, sino daw siya para pagbigyan? Kung gayon, isa siyang traidor at kalaban, okay? Ng mga Espanyol, ng bayan. So, si Dr. Jose Rizal, during that time, okay, the hero's life ended. In the background, naririnig po yung Viva España, death to traitors, okay? Okay, pagbubunyi ng mga taga-Espanya. Rizal being a convicted criminal was not facing the firing squad. Dahil po doon, as he was hit, he resists and turns himself to the face of the Spanish authority, okay, set up like the ceremony of like a fair. And even in that moment na natumba po siya, class, no, Rizal turns his body so that he ends up lying on his back with his face to the sun. So, parang ano po siya na umikot para nakaharap pa rin siya sa ating inang bayan. Ibig sabihin, hindi niya tinalikuran ang Pilipinas hanggang sa huling sandali ng buhay niya. Yun po ang alay niya, ang sarili niya. Nakita niya pa rin po ang paglabas ng pagsikat ng araw. Ang ating inang bayan ay parang humalik pa rin po siya na sinasabing hanggang sa kaduluduluhan, kaya niyang maging martir para sa inang bayan. Okay? So, hundreds of men and women na po na mga Espanyol, no? Nagsidatingan na po sila, na ang gaganda ng mga damit nila to celebrate the death of their enemy. Troops units were paraded, musical bands celebrated, playing the national anthem continuously. The firing squad was composed of Filipino soldiers, yung colonial army, but behind them, meron po yung sinasabi ko sa inyo na yung mga brown comrades, yun na po yung mga taga-Espanyol na po na militar. Okay, so yung military band, nagplay na ng Marcha de Cadiz. Yung pagbagsak ng katawan ni Rizal, okay, yun na po, kinuha na po siya at patagong inilibing po sa Paco Cemetery. Okay, yung katawan po ni Dr. Jose Rizal during that time is wala po talagang makikitaan na meron pong magandang hindi man lang nakalagay sa ano tawag nito, yung kabaong, okay, like it was something na parang ano lang po, alam niyo po yung parang basta ano tawag nito, inilagay na lang po siya doon na parang walang ano-ano kasi kalaban nga po siya, no, ng mga tao, ng mga Espanyol during that time. And of course, nasundan po iyon ng kapatid niya, okay, and then nahanap po ng kapatid niya. Hinanap po ni Narcisa kung saan-saan pero hindi niya mahanap yung pinaglagyan ng katawan ni Dr. Jose Rizal hanggang sa pumasok po siya sa Paco Cemetery. He searched the place. Nakakita po siya ng bangkay na parang yun si Dr. Jose Rizal, okay? Sinabi niya dun sa mga cadaver na grave digger to place a plaque. Nilagyan po niya ng parang palatandaan na RPJ or stands for Rizal Protasio Jose, na yun yung magiging parang palatandaan na yun yung bangkay ng kanyang kapatid. Okay, para later on pag ililipat po siya ng kanyang himlayan ay alam po kung saan pong kukunin ang katawan ni Dr. Jose Rizal. Okay? Na ililipat naman po sa Luneta. Okay? Sa Luneta po. Iyan
Again, I am Jayan Kapili, leaving you this quotation. No matter how many goals you have achieved, you must set your sights on a higher one, by Jessica Savage. Thank you, and remember to always keep your feet on the ground.